Failure is not the end, it is the beginning. Every great success story in the world is written with the ink of failure. When you fall, when you get embarrassed, when you humiliate yourself in front of others, you are handed a gift. That gift is the lesson you could never learn in comfort, the wisdom you could never buy with money, the strength you could never build without resistance. Failure strips away the illusion of perfection and shows you where the real work must be done. It forces you to see the cracks in your foundation and challenges you to rebuild stronger, sharper, and more determined than ever before. Most people fear failure because they see it as a permanent label. They think failing means they are weak, unworthy, or incapable. But the truth is, failure is not who you are. It is only a moment in time. It is feedback, not finality. Every rejection, every mistake, every public setback is a test of how badly you want to rise. Do you allow failure to define you? Or do you use it as fuel to sharpen your hunger? Champions are not the ones who never lose. They are the ones who never stay down. They absorb the pain, the humiliation, the criticism, and they turn it into energy for the next fight. Think about it. Every master was once a beginner. Every strong leader once stumbled. Every innovator once got laughed at. The difference between the average person and the great one is not talent. It is the response to failure. The average person hides from it, avoids it, and lets fear of failure paralyze them. The great one embraces it, learns from it, and uses failure as the greatest teacher. When you lose, you gain knowledge. When you are rejected, you gain resilience. When you are mocked, you gain fire. No textbook, no classroom, no comfort zone can teach you what failure teaches you in one crushing moment. Failure humbles you. It breaks your ego and reminds you that growth is never finished. It teaches patience, discipline, and the power of persistence. You cannot build muscle without tearing the fibers first, and you cannot build greatness without breaking through failure. Every scar is a story of resilience. Every bruise is proof that you dared to try. Every embarrassment is a sign that you stepped into the arena while others stood safely on the sidelines. So the next time you fail, do not curse it, do not hide from it, do not quit. Thank it, embrace it, let it shape you. Because failure is the fire that forges champions. It is the storm that strengthens roots. It is the pressure that creates diamonds. Failure is not your enemy. It is your most powerful ally if you are brave enough to learn from it. Respect is not something you can force out of people. It is something you inspire through your actions. You can shout, you can demand, you can try to control others with your ego, but all of that collapses when there is no discipline behind it. True respect comes when people see the consistency of your character, the dedication in your work, and the humility in your victories. Discipline is the foundation of respect because it proves that you are willing to put in the effort, sacrifice, and commitment required to back up your words. Ego wants recognition without work. Discipline earns recognition through relentless effort. When you live with discipline, you do not have to tell people to respect you. They see it in how you carry yourself. They notice the way you show up early, the way you prepare, the way you refuse to take shortcuts. Discipline makes you reliable, and reliability builds trust. Ego, on the other hand, crumbles under pressure. Ego seeks applause, but applause is temporary. Ego wants power, but power without discipline is unstable. Discipline builds something permanent, something unshakable, something that lasts long after the applause fades. Respect is earned in the unseen moments when no one is watching. It is built when you train alone, when you push yourself beyond comfort, when you hold yourself to a higher standard even when it is inconvenient. People may not see those hours of sweat, but they feel the result in the way you perform, the way you lead, and the way you live. Discipline creates results, and results earn respect. Ego only creates noise, and noise is forgotten. Every great leader, every champion, every role model you admire is respected not because they demanded it, but because they lived with discipline. They sacrificed pleasures for purpose, distractions for focus, and excuses for accountability. They did not walk into a room and say, "Respect me." They walked into a room and people gave respect naturally because their actions left no doubt about their strength and character. Discipline speaks louder than ego ever can. If you want respect in this world, build yourself first. Train your mind, your body, your habits, your discipline. Do not waste energy trying to convince people to value you. Show them why they should. Respect flows naturally to those who carry themselves with consistency, humility, and control. Ego may give you a moment of pride, but discipline will give you a lifetime of respect. So choose discipline. Choose the hard work, the sacrifice, the commitment. Build a reputation that speaks for you long before you open your mouth, because respect is not a demand. It is a reward. It is not handed out. It is earned through the fire of discipline. And once you earn it that way, no one can ever take it away from you. When you fall, the eyes of the world are on you. People watch closely, some waiting to see if you will collapse, others curious if you will rise again. In those moments of failure, embarrassment, or defeat, your true character is revealed. Anyone can walk with confidence when things are going well, but it takes real strength to stand tall after a fall. The world may judge you for stumbling, but it will respect you for how you respond. Falling is not the end. It is the test. And the test is not about whether you hit the ground, but whether you find the courage to rise again. Every great story of triumph begins with a fall. Heroes are not defined by their victories alone, but by their resilience in the face of setbacks. When you fall, the whispers grow louder. People laugh, people doubt, people criticize, but none of that has the power to define you unless you let it. What defines you is the choice you make when you are down. Do you give up, proving the doubters right, or do you rise with greater determination, proving yourself stronger than anyone imagined? The fall is the stage, but the rise is the performance that inspires the world. When you rise after failure, you send a message to everyone watching: you cannot be broken. You show that your spirit is stronger than humiliation, that your will is greater than defeat. People may remember your fall, but they will never forget your comeback. Think of the athletes who return after injury, the leaders who rebuild after loss, the dreamers who keep fighting after rejection. Their rise is what makes them unforgettable. The world respects resilience more than perfection, because resilience is real, raw, and relatable. Falling gives you perspective. It humbles you, strips away arrogance, and forces you to confront your weaknesses. Rising teaches you strength. It teaches you that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of it. Every stumble sharpens your resolve. Every setback fuels your hunger. Every fall gives you the chance to rise even higher. Without falling, you would never know the depth of your strength. Without rising, you would never discover the heights of your potential. So do not fear falling, fear staying down, fear giving up when the world expects you to surrender. Rise, not just for the world watching, but for yourself. Rise because you refuse to let one moment define your entire journey. Rise because greatness is not about never falling, but about always standing up one more time. The world is watching, yes, but that is not pressure. It is opportunity, opportunity to inspire, to show courage, to prove that nothing can keep you down. Your rise becomes a story that others look to when they fall, and in that moment, your comeback becomes bigger than yourself, because when you rise, you light the path for others to rise as well. True strength is not loud, it does not scream for attention, and it does not need to prove itself through arrogance. Real strength is calm, composed, and steady, especially when the pressure is at its highest. Anyone can look strong when the sun is shining and life is easy, but true strength reveals itself in the storm. When the walls are closing in, when the crowd is watching, when everything seems ready to break, the strongest person is the one who stays grounded. Staying calm under pressure is a sign of mastery, not weakness. It shows that you are in control of yourself, and if you control yourself, you control the situation. Showing off might impress for a moment, but it is fragile. It is fueled by ego, not substance. When pressure hits, ego shatters, but discipline and composure hold firm. The strongest leaders, athletes, and warriors are not the ones flexing their power for applause. They are the ones making clear decisions when chaos strikes. Calmness is not passivity, it is power under control. It is knowing when to strike, when to wait, when to push, and when to hold back. It is the difference between reacting recklessly and responding wisely. Think about the greatest champions in history. They did not panic under pressure. They thrived in it. They kept their breathing steady, their focus sharp, their emotions under command. While others broke down, they stayed composed. That composure gave them the clarity to make the right move at the right time. Calmness in pressure is like a shield. It protects you from the distractions, the noise, the fear that can sabotage your performance. Staying calm under pressure also earns respect in a way showing off never can. People may cheer for arrogance in the short term, but they trust composure in the long term. Trust is built when you show people that you can handle the weight without losing control. When your team sees that you remain calm, they find confidence in you. When your opponents see it, they fear you. Calmness is silent dominance. It sends the message that no matter what happens, you are unshakable. But calmness does not come by accident. It is trained, built through discipline and repetition. It comes from putting yourself in difficult situations again and again until pressure feels normal. It is the product of preparation. The more prepared you are, the calmer you can be when the world is testing you. Showing off skips the preparation and hides insecurity behind noise. Calmness comes from real work, from knowing deep inside that you can handle whatever comes. So do not waste energy trying to prove your strength by putting on a show. Prove it by staying calm when everyone else loses their head. Prove it by holding steady when the pressure is crushing. Prove it by showing restraint when others are reckless. Because true strength is not about being the loudest in the room. It is about being the one who cannot be shaken when it matters most. Humiliation is one of the hardest experiences a person can endure. It cuts deep, it stings the ego, and it makes you want to hide from the world. But hidden within that pain is an incredible power. The power to transform. Every humiliation carries the seed of growth if you are willing to look past the shame and see the lesson. You can either let humiliation crush your spirit, or you can use it as fire to push yourself beyond limits you never thought possible. The choice is always yours. When you are humiliated, you are given a mirror that shows you exactly where you stand. It strips away illusions, excuses, and pride. It exposes weaknesses that you may have been blind to before. This is why humiliation, as painful as it feels, can be one of the most valuable teachers in life. If you take that moment and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger from this? You turn humiliation into fuel. Instead of carrying bitterness, you carry hunger. Instead of shame, you carry determination. History is filled with people who turned humiliation into greatness. Athletes who were laughed at, leaders who were underestimated, dreamers who were rejected. All of them faced moments of embarrassment in front of the world, but they refused to stay down. They used those moments as fuel to train harder, to sharpen their minds, to rise higher. The humiliation that was meant to break them became the very reason for their success. They decided that the pain of humiliation would not be wasted. It would be converted into energy. Humiliation humbles you, but humility is the foundation of growth. When you are humbled, you realize that there is more to learn, more to improve, more to fight for. That realization is powerful. It ignites a fire that arrogance could never create. When your pride is wounded, you suddenly discover how badly you want to prove yourself, not through words, but through results. That hunger becomes unstoppable. The truth is, everyone will face humiliation at some point. You will fail publicly, you will make mistakes, you will be judged. But those moments do not define you unless you let them. What defines you is what comes after. Do you let the laughter echo in your head, or do you silence it with victory? Do you let the memory of humiliation paralyze you, or do you transform it into motivation that pushes you to work when others quit? So the next time you are humiliated, do not run from it. Do not drown in self-pity. Stand up, look at the lesson, and use it. Let it fuel your training, your discipline, your focus. Let it remind you that you are stronger than the shame. Because humiliation is not the end, it is the spark, and if you channel it, that spark can ignite a fire of growth so powerful that the world will one day forget the laughter and remember only the strength of your rise. Greatness is not built on pride. It is built on the foundation of humility and the relentless force of perseverance. Pride blinds you. It makes you believe you are already complete, that there is nothing more to learn, nothing more to prove. Humility does the opposite. It opens your eyes to growth. It reminds you that no matter how far you've come, there is still a higher level to reach. Humility keeps you hungry. It keeps you learning. It keeps you grounded. Without it, pride will make you complacent, and complacency is the enemy of greatness. Perseverance is the engine that carries humility into action. When the road gets hard, when setbacks come, when failure stares you in the face, pride wants to quit because it cannot bear defeat. But perseverance refuses to stop. It pushes forward when the body is tired, when the mind is doubtful, when the world says it is impossible. Perseverance is what transforms vision into reality because it refuses to let obstacles dictate the outcome. Every great achievement in history was born from a combination of humility to learn and perseverance to keep moving. Humility gives you clarity. It allows you to listen, to improve, to accept criticism without letting it destroy you. A humble person can walk into any room and gain knowledge because they do not pretend to know everything. That knowledge becomes fuel. Perseverance then takes that fuel and drives you forward day after day, even when progress is slow, even when results are invisible. Together, humility and perseverance form the unstoppable formula for greatness. Look at the greatest champions, leaders, and innovators. They were not carried to greatness by pride. They were humbled by defeat, by rejection, by failure, and those experiences made them stronger. They did not stop when the world doubted them. They persevered. They showed up day after day. Hungry, disciplined, focused. They did not waste time trying to appear great. They invested time becoming great. And when greatness came, it was unshakable because it was built on humility and perseverance, not on fragile pride. Pride seeks validation. It wants applause, recognition, and attention. But greatness built on pride collapses the moment applause disappears. True greatness does not depend on recognition. It shines whether the crowd is cheering or silent. Humility does not seek the spotlight, but it earns it through action. Perseverance does not care about temporary comfort. It endures discomfort for the sake of something bigger. That is why greatness built on humility and perseverance lasts forever. If you want greatness, let go of pride. Do not fool yourself into thinking you are already enough. Be humble enough to admit where you need growth, and be relentless enough to pursue that growth no matter how long it takes. Keep moving, keep grinding, keep pushing forward even when no one believes in you, because greatness is not given, it is earned. And the ones who earn it are not the ones with the loudest pride, but the ones with the quiet humility to learn and the unbreakable perseverance to never quit. So in the end, this is the truth. Failure will come. Humiliation will sting. The world will doubt you, and the pressure will test every ounce of your strength, but none of that defines you. What defines you is your discipline, your humility, your perseverance, and your refusal to stay down. Respect will never be given because you demand it. It will be earned because you live it. Greatness will never come from pride. It will rise from the fire of humility and the grind of perseverance. When the world watches you fall, rise higher. When the pressure crushes others, stay calm. When humiliation strikes, turn it into fuel. That is the path of champions. That is how you transform weakness into power, struggle into triumph, and doubt into destiny. Never forget your story is not written by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise.